Hello, my loves. Welcome. My name is Katerina Barrie. I'm a psychic coach, and you are watching this video inside Just Channel, my free masterclass. I'm so excited to be here. I'm adjusting the lighting once again. Constant struggle. Welcome, everyone. I've got my crown in my hands. I'm about to put it on. So, something that I wanted to share with you yesterday is the point of the crowns. So, tonight, I get to tell you what that is. And I get to show you what that does. So when I wear these crowns, there's one thing that they have in common, other than being royal looking. Hey Kayla, hey Yitty, hey Amy, good to see you ladies. Welcome, welcome. So the point of the crown is the crystals. And I love the crowns, don't get me wrong. I love wearing a crown. Hey Patricia, that's so good to see you. But when I wear them, it helps me channel. Not in the sense that I needed to channel. Hey Charlene, it's so good to see you. But in the sense that it helps me not take on personally the energy of the person that I'm reading for. So something that I realized pretty quickly going into doing channeling live or showing up online and doing readings for people is that I tap into every single person, and that's inevitable. If you're truly channeling, you're definitely into the other person's energy. So when the session is over, what do you do? How do you get rid of that? So that was the question, because I would be doing these readings and I would read 10, 20, 30 people live over in the span of say an hour or two, and I would pull cards, right? And so what would happen is afterwards I felt overwhelmed. Like I would sleep for 12 hours or more, and I was like, okay, that's not sustainable. So in conversations with fellow energy workers, and fellow channelers and fellow psychics and just people who do this kind of work, I was like, okay, what am I missing? How do I keep it within the boundaries? And the answer that came to me was, okay, I gotta do something. I gotta do a magic wand, which is something we talked about yesterday. I gotta have some kind of a magic wand that it comes through some object, some tool, right? And I don't take it on personally, I don't take it on physically, and I keep the energy to the crown, okay? I keep the energy in the crown. So when I take it off, the readings are over, my energy is protected, and I'm back to Katerina vibes. I'm not in other person's vibes. Shelly, Rose, Julie, Nicole, hello ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is the time for the crown to come on. I'm not very manicured today, not just in the sense of hands, but in the sense of in general. I've just had a pretty dialed back day. I will tell you this, ladies, I've been a little bit overwhelmed today in a good kind of way, because you're going to be the first to find out here tonight. Well, maybe not the absolute first, but yes, actually the first, because I haven't shared this yet. But I'm having a $10,000 week in my psychic business. And I had to sit with it for some time today. Because I was like, I used to really struggle and do the things I didn't enjoy and chase after people and pretend to be who I'm not. And it sucked. And my soul was like, I hate this. I freaking hate this so much. And it took me a year, 3 years ago, to make 7,000, which I live in the United States. Depending on where you live, that could be different. But in the United States, even in the state of South Carolina, which is, I love it so much, it's not the most expensive state to live in. Let's be honest. And even though it's pretty affordable, I couldn't pay any of my bills. I constantly borrowed money. I constantly asked for money. Couldn't get it. Had to push people, had to convince people to sell things that they don't need. And I hardly made $7,000 for the entire year, and that meant I paid hardly any of my bills. And most of the money that I made, I'm not proud to admit that, but it's part of my history, and I've learned from this. But I would spend it on alcohol. I would just go out and drink because I was so depressed because I couldn't use my gifts. And was it that I couldn't use my gifts? No, it's that I chose to pretend and to be someone I'm not, and to try to get people to like me, and to try to get people to buy from me things they don't want. And there will be another, so if you've provided your email address, towards the end of July, beginning of August, there will be another free masterclass. And I already had the vision for it today, and it's going to be about sales. So I will talk about my journey with sales. Like, what is it like to sell? What is it like to sell things that suck? What is it like to sell things you don't believe in? What is it like to sell things that you do believe in? And what is it like to sell when you're not even selling? Okay. Hey, Casey. Hey, Carla. Hey, Shelly. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Rose. So I had some time today to sink it in. A $10,000 week. Cash? No. Sales? Yes. This is a business. This is an empire that I'm building as a psychic. Not as someone who's selling marketing and pretending to here, buy this, buy an ad. You don't think your business works? Let me sell you an ad. It's going to fix everything, even though I know it's not. No, this is like who I am. And so I want to get into Q&A. Sylvia, thank you so much for the crown compliments. It's a beautiful one. And it's a dyed quartz. So it's quartz. So I'm going to jump into some questions that we already have. Okay, so this is a Q&A. I have the deck of cards. I have 2 questions that have been asked. One I have addressed, like what is the crown for? Because I was going to tell you guys yesterday and then I forgot. So the crown is to help me channel without taking on other people's energy. If you're on the email list, you've provided your email registering for this class, you will get an invite in your email later this month with, first of all the videos that we've gone over here, except this one, this is a bonus, but all the day 1, day 2, day 3, all the trainings and probably the welcome call as well. These will be permanent links with all the comments removed. So like all the me interacting with specific people, just the important parts. Okay, you'll receive the forever links to these trainings when this group goes down, which will be around July 17th. You will also receive an invite to the next masterclass, which is still being planned. It's not solidified yet, but the next masterclass, I'm feeling it, is going to be about sales. Because let me tell you, my friends, I have done some icky sales and they sucked my soul out and put it through the ringer and then spit it out. And then I was like, I'm never doing sales again, ever, for anything. This is awful. This is terrible. So I want to talk you through the difference, okay? And this is going to be the next masterclass. Hey, Geraldine, so good to see you. Okay. So we've got the divination tools. We've got 2 questions already asked. If you have had any questions throughout this masterclass, go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and let me know. And I will read them as we go. But right now, I want to answer one of the questions that was asked by, I believe, Charlene. So Charlene, if you're watching this, this is for you and for everyone else who's wondering. So the question that was asked was, okay, I show up, I'm a channel, I know, I channel. I show up, I do readings, I know. I can do readings. Why am I not having the sales? Why do people treat me like entertainment? that wasn't exactly the question, but that's the personal experience that I've had in my life, and I want to speak to that. So this is a really good question, because if you're taking this masterclass and you've done the homework, hey Carolina, good to see you. If you've done the homework, maybe even both, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see how this works. I can kind of channel. Okay. Let me see if I can do a business run a business doing this, right? So something that I want to tell you ladies, and this is not something I discovered on my own. This is something that I discovered by investing in a coach when I had the entire amount she charged for one session in my bank and $15 above that. And I left myself with $15. And yes, I was not starving. I was not on the side of the street. I was all right. I was okay. But I decided to invest basically everything I have for one session. And that's what I learned. So let me walk you through it. I was doing readings. That was about a year and a half ago. I was starting to do readings. Pandemic hit. Things happened. Marketing business has been failing that I ran for 3.5 years. And I was like, you know what? If it's been failing up until the pandemic, it's not going to take off during. So let me just shelve that finally. And I finally fired myself from my old business. I was like, you know what? This sucks. I don't have a boss above me. I got to fire myself. So I fired myself. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then I was like, you know what can I do? And it was like, one thing that I always rely on is tarot. And at that point, I've been already practicing it for several years. I would do the readings. I would channel for myself. I would look up the meanings. I would write down the meanings over and over and over and over again, every single day. And I couldn't explain it. I didn't tell anyone that I was doing that. I couldn't explain that. If someone asked me, well, okay, why is your business sucking? And like, why is there like zero income? And why are you spending all of your time doing tarot readings for yourself? Are you crazy? That's what I didn't want to hear, because I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just doing this because it's important somehow. I don't know how, but I can always show up and I can always receive a message, and I know I'll be all right. So this is what was my reality. Now at that time, pandemic, I fired myself from the business that didn't work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I've been doing lives, which is scary, but the more you do lives on Facebook like this, not maybe in the masterclass, but maybe just on your personal page, the better you get. So I've already gone through a variety of awkward lives in my personal profile. I was just like saying whatever. And I talked about that yesterday a little bit. There was this live where I was just like channeling, and everyone was like, what is wrong with you? They didn't say that, but there was no comments. They're like, this is strange. So all of that was behind me already. I just fired myself from the new business, or from the business that didn't work for 3 years. Not new, old. And I was like, okay, what do I do? So I was like, you know what? I've seen some musicians that no longer have gigs at local bars, restaurants, play music online, and just allow people to give you tips. Let me try this. Let me try this with my tarot cards. And I went live. I remember it just like it was now, a few minutes ago. I sat in my old apartment that I lived in by myself, could never pay rent for, ever. Like never had enough, ever. And I sat there, and I provided my PayPal and my Venmo and my Cash App, and I was like, you know what, you can just give me tips if you like it. I've never done this before. So like this. So I started pulling cards, and people started sending me tips. And then I was like, wow, that is crazy. And then people started sending me tips, and the tips outweighed the very little that I brought into my business, doing the marketing, convincing, playing the role part of thing. And I was like, that's weird. I'm not even charging anything. I'm just allowing people to give in response to what I give to them. And what I got was more than what I tried. And that just blew my mind. So this is a pretty long story, but I want you to walk through this journey with me, because for those of you who have had this question and wondering, just like Charlene. I want you to know how it works. Okay, so I see your questions coming in, so I will speak to those a little later. I just want to stay with the story because I think it's important for anyone who's considering doing channeling as a thing that they charge for. Okay, which is a beautiful exchange, by the way. Don't ever feel bad for charging for being a psychic, because you know what? Yeah, it's a gift, but it's not a gift that you just like click into. That's something that you work on. That's something that you embody. That's something you have to set yourself aside for, to channel for someone else. You're not, remember, human is like here. Human gots to show up. Once the human shows up, the human's like, okay, human, thank you. Channel. That's not something that you do for free. I will just tell you that. Now, when I do these readings online, live, that's for me, for you, for us, for everyone. Why? Because the person that's receiving the message, they're being a model for someone else who needs to hear it, but they didn't get a card, but they get to hear it and they get to learn from it. So there's this generosity, there's this giving. But when you're doing one-on-one and someone goes channel for me for free, I would highly recommend that you don't, because that's not an even exchange. So receiving tips is great. You can even say, you know what, if you're just getting started, pay me what you want, if that feels good. But here's where I want you to pay attention, because this is the answer to the question that we have on our hands. And so I was receiving the tips, right? I was excited. I was doing these readings. I was showing up. This is like the best thing ever. I love doing this more than I love anything else. And here I am doing this now and receiving, right? And more than what I was trying to get through force and convincing and all of that. And I'm like blown away. So at some point I'm like, okay, I got to start offering, because people are like, okay, is there more of an option? Is there like a deeper reading option? Is there a one-on-one option? And I was like, okay, I got to come up with those. So I came up with options. One of my reading options, which was like 2 cards, was $18, not $80, $18 for 2 cards. And I would go about 20 to 30 minutes over these cards. And I had more higher options, like 36, 63, and I think like 90 or no 81. They all were like 3, 6, 9, things like that. So there's a little bit of numerology coding in that. But and so of course when someone would book like a $90 or $81 option, I would be like over the moon. But the $18 readings, someone who would buy an $18 reading, I would put in so much of my soul, so much of myself. And they would just kind of watch it like entertainment, like, oh, that's cool, that's sweet. And I'm like, I gave so much. And it was just like weird. Because I was grateful, but I was also like, eh. So I came across a coach, and I actually talked to her today a little bit. We're not working together right now, but she's so inspiring. She has gone so far since that moment that she hosted that coaching session with me. She's such a beautiful human soul spirit. She's just amazing. So her name is Emily Whiteside, in case you're wondering. I only have amazing things to say about her. But I saw her, I found her somehow. I came across her stream, and she was talking about, are you psychic? Are you a coach? How is your business growing? Are you excited about your business? Are you excited about growing your business? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm excited about doing this work, but I feel like I'm stuck. And so when we got on the call, she told me, okay, so what are your rates? And I said, well, I do one-on-one readings, and it's like 18, 36, 63, and 81. She's like, okay, so when someone books a reading with you for $18, how do you show up? And I was like, I show up all of myself. I put all of my soul. She's like, okay. And how do they show up? And I was like, well, they kind of treat it like entertainment, like a movie that they could watch on demand. She's like, right. So how are you doing them a disservice by charging so little? And I was like, wait a second, what are you talking about? I'm doing them a disservice by charging so little. What are you talking about? She's like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because when you go out to a restaurant with a date, if the bill is $18, aren't you going to be like, didn't you miss something? Because I think we just both had a meal and a few drinks, and how can this be $18? And I was like, yeah, right. She's like, okay, so you're paying for a session with me. It was a little bit of a push for me, for sure, because I left myself basically with nothing after the session. But I believed that was the next step. My intuition told me, like, go with her, study with her, do it, freaking do it. And I was like, okay, I trust this. She was like, okay, so you pushed yourself to invest in the session with me. How are you showing up here? I'm like 100%. I was like writing down every word she said. I'm like, I'm here. She's like, I know. She's like, was this an easy payment for you to make? I was like, no. She's like, how are you showing up? And I'm like, 150%? Because this is like all the money I have. And now I got this, so I'm gonna like learn everything I can. She's like, exactly. So how can you create that for your client? How can you provide your 100%, but how can you also have them coming in wanting to show up 100%? And I didn't have the answers to that. But from that session, I built up and I evolved to the level where I do this. I do have special readings that are special price. They're like usually 24 to 48 hours. There have been 55, 66, 77. These are very themed. These are like in the energy of a specific thing. My regular readings start at $111. All of this goes to say, I don't even sell them anymore. They either sell themselves or they're not in alignment, right? So this is just an option because this is a one-time option. I like to focus on programs. I like to focus on coaching. So to answer the question of Charlene, and there's a lot more questions, and I know, but I have to, this one is very important. You got to expect your clients to treat your work like it's important. And in order to do that, you got to treat your work like it's important. You can't be trying to convince people. You can't be trying to give them $9.99 so that they buy. You can't have a price that's like $2,000 and then someone comes in and you're like, okay, just so you buy, I'll make it $9.99. Okay, just buy, please. You can't have that energy because you have to trust that your gifts are special and important and significant. Guess what? Your gifts are your gifts, but who is doing the work to develop them? You. Does everyone else have the channel? Yes. Are they working to build it and develop it and expand it? No. Not everyone is. And sometimes people don't want to go through the trouble. They want a reading from someone who is developing them. Does that mean that they're incapable? No. Does that mean that they're willing to compensate you for the value that they get? Yes. How much? That's up to you. But you can't sell yourself short, and you can't treat it like entertainment. This is not a Netflix movie. This is not another episode of 100 series saga. This is a reading. This is you connecting to their soul and channeling for them. There's nothing like that. And they are capable of it themselves, but most people, and I'm not even going to say most people, but a lot of people, they'd rather just talk to someone who will do it for them. So they don't have to learn all the tools, so they don't have to master their own channel. And maybe they will, inspired by you. But sometimes they just need to connect to their own soul, and you are the medium. You are the channel. So you got to treat yourself showing up like, here's what I'm doing as a gift, generosity. Here's a stream I'm doing. Here's a post I'm writing. Here's the insights I'm providing for you, for me, for us, for all of us together. But if you want a one-on-one, like if you want to take this deeper, you got to treat it seriously. Because I'm not here playing jokes. I'm not here entertaining you. I'm here showing up, and I'm going to show up 100% for you. And if you want to do this with me, here's how much it is. And every time you do something, you go live, you do something, you have this inside. Now, here's a big difference. Have I been holding this energy for those of you who want to take the next level with me, the entire masterclass? Yes. Have I been selling anything? I don't think so. I've mentioned some offers. I've mentioned some options to take this work further, but I'm not here to sell. In fact, I've made it pretty difficult for you to buy on purpose. So if you go to the announcements and you go through the email I sent today and you look for the links, there are no links. You can't sign up. You have to message me. And then we will decide how we proceed, whether it's a payment plan, whether it's a painful, doesn't matter. It's very individual. You have to ask, why? The funnels and the sales techniques guys would have told me, are you freaking crazy? You've got so many people in your masterclass. You should have links all over the place. You should be posting links every 3 minutes. I don't want someone to just find the link. I don't want someone to just be like, okay, let me pay her and she's going to solve all my problems. Panic. I don't want that. I want you to think about that. I want you to come to a decision within your body. And then I want you to reach out and ask me, how do I pay for this thing? Because I want it. At this point, there is no selling. There is no convincing. There is no anything. There is no pressure. It's just like, I want this. I know myself. I want this. Now you tell me how to pay for this. Why? Because I trust the channel. I trust what I can do. I trust the visions. I trust the ideas for the programs that I receive. I trust myself to show up, not to be the master, not to be the best of the best, but to show up and give my 150, sometimes 1,000%. I can trust that because I've proven to myself that I can do this. I trust the channel more than I trust myself. How do I come up with the prices? You might ask. I don't come up with the prices. The prices come to me and I honor them. And that's why I have this option where you decide basically what you pay for how long, and that's a payment plan. So this is for all of those of you who are starting on this journey. I don't care if you buy anything from me. I sincerely do not. I don't care. I really don't. I don't. I'm not individually invested in making sales in this masterclass. What I'm invested into is doing my best to give you all the tools to start your journey, whether it be with me or by yourself or with someone else. I don't care, again. But as you pick up the tools, as you develop the channel, as you continue refining the clarity of the channel, because you know, the deeper you trust, the clearer you channel, the clearer you have your clairs, the clearer you have precognition, telepathy, telekinesis, psychokinesis, whatever. So the more you trust, the deeper you trust, the clearer you channel. So as you refine the trust, as you clarify the channel, as you connect, right? As you become more within the scope of work, as you allow yourself to embody more of your gifts that have already been there the entire time you've lived. You accept them, you embody them, you honor them, you hold them, you use them. You were made for this. If you're part of this masterclass, you were made for this. This is not a question. This is not like, well, me, maybe her, but me, I don't think so. Yes, you. If you're part of this masterclass, if you're here now, whether it be live or in replay, you're a part of this. This is what you came here for. This is what you have. The deeper you go with this, the more you're going to want to serve others with this. My friends, don't sell your gifts short, please. This is not in service of someone else. You might think, oh, if I charge very low, it's going to help more people. No, because people are not going to take it seriously. Have you ever been in a situation where you have all the bills coming due and everything's falling apart? And there's this one thing, this one perfume, this one piece of clothes, this one thing, this new phone, where you go like, I know I'm screwed, but this thing is so important to me. I'm gonna get it. I have no money, I'm gonna get it. You're worthy of holding the capacity of delivering that level of service. Because why? Because someone might meet you at a crossroads and they are screwed and they are lost and they are devastated and they don't have money for anything. And they go like, I'm gonna invest in this because it has the capacity to change my life. Can you hold the capacity to be someone who can channel something that can change in other people's lives? I know the answer. The answer is yes. But can you believe that? Can you believe that? Don't undercharge for channeling. You are in another person's energy. When you were tapping into my energy to do homework number 2, you guys, I felt it the entire time. It was hard. I don't usually go looking for free readings or hiring whoever to do my readings. I'm very selective. It's difficult. It's our relationship. It's an energetic relationship. When you tap into someone's energy, they are letting you in. When you tap into someone's energy, you are letting them in. This is a very deep exchange. Some of you are not going to like how it sounds, but the only thing that can compare to this is having sex with someone. You're going to be like, what are you talking about, Katerina? You're not having sex with your clients. No, of course not. But this is the level of intimacy that it takes to channel. When you're having sex with someone, there's physical closeness, intimacy. You're physically connecting, but there's the spiritual component where you're becoming one for a short time. That's what channeling is. It's not intimate, it's not sexual, it's not weird. That's not where I'm going with this. But the level of intimacy it requires on your soul is intense. It's a lot. Don't charge $18 for your readings unless it really feels good, which I have a hard time believing that it could ever. I would even say if you're training, you want to get more experience, just let people send you donations. It's like, I don't expect anything, whatever comes, right? But don't sell channeling for like 15, 19. Just don't, okay? Because it sucked. Not because I didn't give my all, but because I gave my all and it was treated like an $18 purchase. So I would almost rather you show up expecting a high ticket client and hold space for it until it comes than you show up and you sell yourself short to get more because you don't believe in your channel. Believe in your channel more than you believe in the human. The human has never seen $100 for a reading. That's all right, human. It's not your job to worry about it. It's the channel that demands this seriousness of sale, okay? So I hope I have answered this question because it's pivotal, it's crucial. Do you have to start at 18? Do you have to find a coach who tells you don't do that? Don't sell yourself short. Because how does it feel? It feels like you're giving something and it's being taken from you because it's not even treated seriously. Don't do that. Just save yourself the trip. Just take my word for it and start where you want to start. You want to start at 100 per reading? Start there. You want to start at 200 per reading? Start there. You want to start at 77? Sure, but don't do like $15, $9. Like, just don't. It's not worth it. It's not. Even if you get really good feedback, your energy gets drained. And it's better to start higher and have that confirmation come in just a little bit later than start very low and be like, how do I go up from here? Okay, so my word of advice, take it or leave it. Okay, so now I've got the questions and then we're going to do some readings. We've got a lot of questions. Okay, hold on, let me scroll back up. Okay, ooh, wow, a lot of questions. Okay. Limitless access, mess 2 and 3. This is Pamela. Yes, limitless access. You have provided your email, and even if you have not, I know you have for previous master classes as well. So I have yours. So yes, you will receive links to all these edited trainings. It's going to be a little later, but you have until July 17th to take advantage of this. My friends, you have until the end of the stream to take advantage of any paid offers here. There is no pressure. I don't care if you do or not, but this is just something that I wanted to mention and I haven't so far. So, okay. Sylvia says, I feel the same way. I can't, sales is the worst. Depends. I have been burned by sales, and that, if you want to go deeper into that, and for the sake of everyone's time, I'm going to stay with the just channel theme, but you might want to attend my next free masterclass, because the next free masterclass is going to be about sales. It's going to be either beginning of August or end of July, probably end of July, maybe beginning of August, I don't know. But I'm going to talk you through all the different sales experiences I've had and how they all differ energy-wise, not circumstance-wise, but how does the energy differ? Because I'm having a whole new perspective at a 10K week. It's something I've never experienced before. Okay, Shelly, I have one, so I know I'm protected by angels. I feel I can't I feel like I can't let negative energies, I'm not sure, I can't read the rest of it. Okay, so to address this one, your channel is sacred. Your channel is not a place where any negative energies dwell. Your ego is. Very much so. It can be. So you can trust that your channel is always protected. And here's the thing. Here's the other side of it. When you feel like you're in the negative energies, or you feel like there's something weird going on, and I've done this. I do plant medicines, which is one of them is ayahuasca. It's a whole other subject. And ayahuasca tears your aura, basically. So it allows a lot of light to come in, a lot of realizations, a lot of really deep shadow work integration. It's rough. It's not a fun trip. It's not like a fun thing. It can be a little fun, but it can also be really dark. And it's medicine. It's not just entertainment. But ayahuasca tears your aura, because so much is coming in and coming out. You're not really protected in that. So I've had after ceremony experiences where I haven't done the fasting right, or I haven't really closed haven't really waited enough, I haven't really integrated it. So I've had some dark stuff come through. So much so that it was like, that was scary. Your channel is something that you can always ask for input. So not only is your channel completely safe and protected, but you can always ask your channel to give you guidance about what the hell is going on. So not only is it not affected by any negative, it's your soul. Your soul, you think your soul is like conspiring with the devil? No. Like, your soul is here, and the devil, as the creation of the creator, is like down there. Like, not to compare anything, but your soul is your soul. Devil is creation. You are part of creator. Devil is creation, if you believe in devil. It's an archetype. It doesn't really, another subject for another thing. Don't want to stay here too long, but stay here on the subject. But I will tell you this. There is nothing negative or bad or whatever or mediocre that can affect your soul, because your soul is your soul. It's protected. It's here no matter what. So whatever weirdness you're encountering, or dark energies or confusing stuff, you can channel about that. Not only is the channeling not affected, but your channel can give you the answers as to what's going on. And that's how I found out. I was like, oh, shoot. Didn't fast. Didn't close the ceremony properly. And here I am now having these experiences. Okay, I better straighten out my routine and get a little more grounded. So, okay, so next was Sylvia. For someone like me who is just starting, what would you recommend the next step to be? So the next step I would recommend is continue practicing the channel, and this is not going to be easy for all of you, but continue practicing the channel and let your channel lead you. So instead of asking, unless you want to work with me, which is an option, but it's not mandatory, okay? Ask your channel, what is the next step? Because your channel knows better than anything else. This is going to be a little bit uncomfortable because we have this thing from school, from running late. Remember running late to class? Oh my God, gonna fail the test because I didn't study. That's not how the channel works. So we have this thing where from the school, because we've been trained that way, work situations, right? I want to ask the teacher. Let me ask the teacher. They must know the answer better than I do. You have a teacher within. That's your channel. So your channel knows better than anyone else does. So if you take the time to hone in the channel and ask the channel, what is the next step for me to develop my gifts? Your channel will give you the answer. Now, the trouble is, can you trust your channel? Can you not go asking another person, what should I do? Can you just trust the channel? Because if you can, this is how I got here. This is my journey here. This is everything. I would do readings for myself every single day, and when everything else was failing, my channel was giving me answers that had nothing to do with anything I was doing, nothing to do with how to make money or how to pay my bills or how to make this work. My channel would tell me, go audition for this unpaid indie film. What? Yeah. I went and auditioned. I got the role. I was in this house with all the other free actors, and we were doing some weird movie, and it's just like all local people, and I'm in this library of this person who's the director, and I see this book, and this book is about psychic gifts. And instead of getting paid, I get this book, and I read the book, and it takes me to the next level. How can you know that? Go audition for this indie film? Are you kidding me? Can you trust the channel? Because I did, and here I am now. So if you want to do this on your own, ask the channel for the next steps. Don't ask me. Ask the channel. And it has your next answer, but you gotta trust it, even if it sounds like, what are you talking about? I had a session with one of my psychic businesswomen, which is a sold out program. It's coming to an end this week. And she asked me today, she was telling me how her intuition made her sign up for Bumble, a dating app. And I was like, she didn't even say this. She's like, I just felt like I need to. And I was like, why? I don't really want to. But then I was like, yes, I'm doing this. And I'm like, that is your intuition. She's like, but it's not about spiritual gifts. I'm like, no, it's not. It's about your romantic life. Your intuition is telling you there's someone out there. So just do it. Right? So intuition doesn't always sound reasonable. It doesn't always sound like the esoteric prophet that you expect it to be. It's just sometimes it says, hey, go out to this coffee shop that you never visit. Like, why? Just go. Don't ask. Just do it. Okay? So we've got Geraldine. I don't even know what to ask. I will just listen. I love it. Shelly said negative energies in sorry and being... I can't read it, Shelly. I'm sorry. Being negative, I guess. Being negative is part of being a human. So at any point being negative, you can still tap into the channel and the channel will show up because the channel, remember, happens no matter what. It's always there. You just got to tap in. Okay. Geraldine. Here's a question. Do I have a negative funky energies? That's something I can ask on the reading cards. Okay, so you don't have a negative energy permanently. Sometimes negative energy manifests, like not just you, but anyone in general. Have I been in the negative energy a lot in the past few weeks? Yes, my friends. Whether you have seen it or not, yes. Does that make me a negative energy person? No. Can I still show up in the positive energy and do my work in the neutral energy? Yes. You can't just be good or evil or good or bad or light or dark or you can't just be feminine or masculine energy because you have both. So it's about integrating, okay? Because anytime we have some weird, funky energy and we're trying to access the channel, and what happens is the way that you experience it, which is why I think several of you are asking this question. What happens is you know that there's a channel coming through and there's something muddying up the water. Remember the analogy, the water in a cup, and then you pour it out of the bottle into a cup, and then you put a straw in it, and now it's easy to drink, which is what you do for a client when you do a reading for them or channel for them. You're not messing with the water. You're not adding anything to the channel, to the water. You're just putting it in a cup from which it's easier to drink it. And you're putting in a straw to make it even easier, right? But you're not muddying up the water. So what happens is when you've got some funky energy going on in the background that you haven't addressed, you will notice this because you're like, what's messing up my channel? Because the channel's coming through and then the water is coming through muddy. So there is a gap in the trust. So the reason there is a gap in the trust, the reason there is mud in the water is that there's something that hasn't been integrated, something that hasn't been resolved. And your job is to see what it is. It's not to look away. It's not to be like, okay, there's this mud. I'm just going to try to make the channel go this way and then this way, and then hopefully the mud doesn't get it. No. You've got to look at the thing. What is the negative energy? What do you think is the source? Ask your channel. Okay, what is this? Okay, I'm getting a channel, but something's messing with it. Channel, what is messing with it? What's happening? What's going on? You will know it. The problem is there is almost no chance that you won't know it. But there is a chance that you will know it and you'll be like, oh, no, that thing I don't want to look at. No. Anything else I can look at. This, no, I'm not ready. That's the problem. Because it's not that we don't know, it's that we know and then we don't want to look at it. And so it keeps adding mud to the water. But all we need to do is get the mud out of the stream of the channel and then it's clear. But you gotta get dirty. And that's the caveat. Okay. So we've got Amy Hortsley. How do I get better with accurate channeling for me, my business, content, copy, can't say it, and others? How do I channel Facebook Lives with delivery that connects with people? Okay. So practice. Because if you did the homework in this group, right? And it has shown you something. You gotta grab onto the something and you gotta ride with it. You gotta make it come through more and more often. Now, I will tell you this. You gotta channel for yourself first. You gotta really hone in channeling for yourself and being able to trust it. And then the practice with that is you channel something, you go and put it into use. You channel something. Here's what I used to do. I would channel something and I would have like notebooks filled out with all the things that I've channeled. And then I would never do anything about it. I'd just like never read it again, ever. Much. It was just like there, but I would never act on it and I would never integrate it. So it would just like, okay, I can channel this, but I can't put it into use. So cool. Okay. So specifically for your business, content, copy, others, you've got to channel for yourself. Okay. If you have paid me, if you have purchased something from me, the name of my company, which is something I need to follow through with, is still Influence Media. That's the old name. So the name of my company is Know Thyself. It's not even just the name of my company. It's what I stand for. It's an ancient phrase that predates the way that we interpret religion nowadays. And it was the law. Know thyself. Because you are the entire universe. Not because you're better than anyone else, not because you're more than anyone else, but because you have all the answers within. So until you know yourself, you can't really help others. So know thyself is something that is a principle of channeling. So the more you channel, the deeper you trust, the clearer the channel, the more you know. The more you see, the more you understand. The more you understand, the deeper you integrate. You got to do the work. So channel for yourself as much as possible. Just practice. Even if you just practice the homework given here and you do a 30-day challenge with yourself. You're like, okay, for the next 30 days, every single day I'm going to channel. Just try that. See what happens. Because I've done that and it has changed my life. So for the next month, maybe not every day, but for the next 6 months, I'm going to channel as much as possible. See what happens. So you will get ideas. You will get ideas. You're like, that's too many ideas. At this point, I don't even know how to start implementing them. That can happen. That's a good thing, because then the ideas will sort themselves out, and the ones that are right for now, you will feel it, and the ones that are right for later, they will resurface later. But start channeling for yourself as much as you can. And then to answer your second question, which is, how do I channel Facebook Lives? Okay, my love, this is not something you might want to hear. I'm just going to be honest. You got to start doing Facebook Lives without channeling. You just got to start doing Facebook Lives. Would I recommend 365-day challenge? I don't know. If that works for you, it does. I've contemplated it several times. I don't think so. To me, it's just too much pressure. And it's not that I can't make it, but I'm going to make it too much about making it every single day, and I'm not even going to care about what I'm saying. I just know myself. I know thyself. I know myself enough where at some point it might happen, but I don't think so. I'm not drawn to that. But when I stop showing up live, does it get a little awkward? Say I stop doing lives here in my paid containers and my private, like personal page for like a week. Does it get weird? It does. Even though I've done hundreds of lives, when I stop for a period of time, it gets real weird. Because all of a sudden I'm back and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Because you got to be in it. You got to feel okay connecting with people. So if you want to channel on Facebook Lives, don't worry about channeling on Facebook Lives. Channel for yourself as much as you can for as long as you can. Just make a commitment. And then just go live and talk to people. About what? Well, if you go to a local coffee shop or a bar or something, and there's a bunch of people that you know, what are you going to talk to them about? You're going to be like, hey guys, haven't seen you in a while. The weather is nice. What you eating? What you drinking? What's good here, right? It doesn't have to be complex. We make it way too complicated. So just start connecting with people. Be like, hey you guys, my name is this. I'm doing this. Today, I'm on an adventure. I'm going to the gym and it's 6 a.m. in the morning and I don't usually get up that early. So here's my story. What's going on with you? It's humans. They're going to be like, what? You got up. You're going to the gym. Yay, you. I should go to the gym too. Well, today I'm drinking coffee and I had this groundbreaking thought that my cat is onto something. Let me tell you the story. My cat got onto the window and then knocked over the plant. And then I was like, my cat is thinking about this plant and now it did it. And so I think what are you talking about? I'm pulling random thoughts out of ether. What could you talk about? You could talk about anything. It's not about what you talk about. It's about how often you do that. Because I'm telling you, years ago when terror was not even on the table, metaphysically and literally, I just wanted to get better at speaking. So I would just go live and I would tell shit like this. Like, hey, you guys, I just finished my walk. And I just saw this red cardinal. And I thought about all the times that I saw the bird previous. Just like, what are you... People want to hear from you. And the only way to believe that is when you show up and people show up to hear from you. The more you do and the less you worry about what you're talking about, the more you trust that. Okay? So the way to get to comfortable channeling live, unfortunately, you got to get comfortable being live first. Because then if you can't feel comfortable going live, it's going to be hard to open up to channel because you're going to be like overthinking it. So the more casual, the more you can show up and suck. I'm serious. If you even frame it that way, okay, I'm going to show up and make the awkward live video today. I'm going to show up and screw up. Great. Let's do this. Let's get it over with. Do that. Because it's going to be hard to channel if you're afraid of failing and you don't even know what you're failing at. So practice the lives outside the channel and then put the channel in. Meanwhile, practice the channel for yourself. Okay. All right. So Joanna, my question is this: can someone who has passed and maybe stuck in a realm reach out to me in a dream as a channel for guidance? I mean, they're looking for info to reach the light. Yes. Short answer, yes, Joanna, yes. I'm going to love your comment so that you know that I'm answering your question. Yes. Not only that, this is not a story that I share, but I have had a grandfather of mine who I've loved very much. And as a child, like, he passed away when I was 13, and he kept appearing in my dreams, and he would always like be mute somehow. He would like either be in jail or underground or some shady circumstances. And every time I would see him, he would just like not be able to say anything. And it was just like a weird thing. And then when I reached the phase when I'm a channel and I like trust this, all of a sudden there was it's not really a trance, but there was an experience where he was there. And I was like, oh my God, he's in between places. He doesn't know where he is. He can't speak to me. He can't progress. And so there was something that I saw through channeling that I could do to help him through. And I did. And ever since then, he has stopped coming to me in dreams, but he has shown up to me once in a channeling session, and he said that he is starting a new life soon. That his soul is ready to be reborn. And it's going to be a different person. So it's not going to be his story anymore. It's going to be someone else. And I was like, it was hard to hear, because I'm like, that's a little too next level even for me. But it was good. It was like he's finally not living out this, whatever that stuck energy was, right? So yes, Joanna, short answer, yes. Long answer, also yes. Just go with it and show them to the light the best you can, but trust that it's real, because it is. It happens. I don't really talk that much about my mediumship experiences. I mentioned why, because it's a little too much for me. Because I can't create as much of a logical structure to explain these experiences. And they are so overwhelming for me that I don't even necessarily want to explain them. But this serves a point, so I did want to tell you this is very real. Okay. Love my story. Amy, thank you so much. That's beautiful. Answered mine too. That's so sweet. You ladies are the freaking best. Okay. I'm just liking everyone's comments now. Okay. Geraldine says, I may sound ignorant. There is no such thing. As long as you're asking, you're already not ignorant, because those who are would never ask. So that's out of the question. When you work with spirit guides to channel, the spirit guides choose you, or can you choose which spirits to work with? Both. Okay, both. I've got a master teacher that I don't mention very often. It's a more masculine energy presence, and it's very ancient, very complex, very like not of this earth at all. And do I still kind of try to figure out sometimes like how exactly does that work? Yes, because it's a little too much. Like the channeling that I read to you yesterday that I did like, or I guess it was the day before yesterday when I did my homework a little late. That's what it sounds like. It's very dense language. It's very, very next level ideas. It's a little much. So this presence is something that I came with. It's like part of the package. And I also mentioned first training, clairaudient, one time that I heard the voice literally speaking through the radio, physically hearing it. That was that presence. So it's a little much. Now, I also reach out to spirit guides. So in my channeling, sometimes it's just my soul, sometimes it's just my client's soul, but certain times I'll use the decks that have goddesses, that have different spirits, that have different ascended masters, that have different elementals. And depending on what comes up, I'll tap into that spirit or that entity and I'll channel the message that's coming through for the client or for myself. And there is another layer that doesn't get mentioned very often. I work with because it's a little complex, but I work with a traditionally African deity, one of the Orishas in the Yoruba, Santeria. There are several terms for that tradition. It's teachings, beliefs, okay? So I'm not an expert on that teaching. I'm not an expert on that culture. I don't want to ever claim that or assume that. But the deity that I work with is traditionally African. And she is like the most powerful spirit alliance. I wouldn't even say guide, but alliance that I have. It's like beyond words. So there are a few that I call on because they have come for me over and over again. They have showed up for me, and it's like, yes. Madame Marie Laveau is another one. She's an actual human that used to live, a psychic, a prosperous one, and that. A hairdresser, a religious woman, in addition to her beliefs, the way that she saw them and the way that she practiced them, just a fascinating individual. And I connected with her energy going to New Orleans. So this is how I do this. So I'm not even doing this. I'm not even looking for anyone, but I'll go to a place like I went to Cuba and I got exposed to this Santeria Yoruba scope of beliefs. And then these deities, I wasn't even looking for anything, but they started showing up for me. Like I was seeing these and I'm like, who are these? Like, what is this? And so I had to find out. I went to New Orleans, Marie Laveau energy, just like, wow. I just saw her, I felt her, and I was like, we're going to be friends. And she was like, yes, very much so. So there's you pick them up along the journey. They'll find you at the right place at the right time, and then you're like, we're yes. And they're like, yes. It's because you call on them and they show up. But you don't have to have a specific spirit guide, or you don't have to have a specific ascended master. You can just call on, you can pick up a deck, right? One of the decks that I recommend, I'm not sure if it's not physically available to me for me to grab right now, but it's called, I wonder where it is. Here's what the name is. Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. Keepers of the Light. It has a beautiful number of ascended masters, female masters, angels, archangels, like a good variety. It's a very good beginner's deck. So if you want to kind of practice with channeling some specific energies, that's a good deck to get. I think it's like $15. So look it up. Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. Very good starting point. So you can just call on different ones and see how their energy, and really channel, like pick out the card. You can read the meaning, but whatever, set the card and then connect to the energy and see what comes through in your channel. And you can see which ones are coming through a little easier than others, or the ones that you're more interested in channeling. And you can kind of experiment with that a little bit. Okay, so next one. We've got Casey. Worth every penny, 111. Your reading was so spot on, I didn't even have one question. I love that so much. And like, I've learned that a little bit through experience, because I would have clients come in with like, I have all the questions. Can I ask the questions first? And I'm like, no, let's do the reading first. Then you can ask as many questions as you want. And they're like, no, but I have the question. I'm like, okay, I don't want to know your questions as a human, because then I'm going to try to answer them. I want to let the channel come through as much as possible. So I can't know your questions, because it's going to be too human of me to try to answer them. And so then they channel, and then the person's like, you've answered all my questions. And I'm like, okay, good. Because I didn't even know the question. So that's good. So channel, you got to let the channel speak for itself. That's why I'm capable of doing readings for someone, one-on-one readings without one-on-one. So we're not really talking on the phone. I'm just doing the reading and recording it and sending it off. Because I notice now when I'm working with the private coaching clients, there is the one-on-one, because we're actually getting somewhere, right? But it involves a whole greater deal of energy for sure. But when it's like a one-off thing and someone new comes in, they're like, I want a reading, the conversation with them would almost distract me from my channel, because they're a new person. I don't know them yet. There's a lot going on. They've got a lot of questions. If I start taking it all in, it's going to be difficult for me to tap into the channel, because now my human is like thinking. So I decided early on, I'm going to do the reading first, record it, trust it, be completely out of the picture. And then I'm going to see what the questions are and channel additional answers if needed. Very rarely do I get any follow-up questions. Very rarely. I would say like 1 in 10. or more. Why? Because I'm not the one telling them the answers. So I don't need to know the questions because I'm not the one coming up with what's being said. And I trust the channel so much that I feel like the more I trust the channel, the more the channel gives them the 100% of the answers. Okay. Pamela says, Katerina did a reading for me last fall. I'm forever grateful. Indebted to her as it changed my life, telling me so much I needed. Oh, thank you so much, my love. I know you've tapped into that reading more than once, and I'm so honored that I got to conduct it for you. Okay. Shelly says, sure, okay, well, I feel like I need okay. Okay, so Amanda says, I have a question. What if when random people start contacting you? Ever since I started this work, people have been contacting me and I haven't talked in a month, years, saying, oh my God, I need to see you. Yeah, okay. I get that. I get people sometimes like, hey, would you want to jump on a Zoom call and have a conversation? Would you want to meet for coffee and have a conversation? Would you want to do something and have a conversation? I'm not open to that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm not. Because my time is very precious to me. And I'm not a very private person. I enjoy being a public person. I enjoy like sharing my life as much as possible. But I like my life being my life. And I have things that take my time. Like the investment I'm currently making into my growth and business development is immense. Not just money-wise, but like there's a lot of time and commitment and follow through on the line. So I spend a lot of my time taking care of my body so I can be a clear channel. I spend a lot of my time learning. I spend a lot of my time resting. I spend a lot of my time just sitting there, sometimes staring at the wall because something's working out, right? And I'm just like, I need to just be there. So I'm not open for free coaching or free mentorship. And I trust that the way that I show up is enough. Like the free readings that I do, the free value that I offer, like the way that I give. First of all, before I give, I gotta feel generous. So like I'm not giving from lack. So I don't give when I'm like exhausted or hungry or super devastated. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself so I can show up and give and not show up giving and expecting to get something in return, because that's not really giving. So I spend a lot of time making myself a perfect match energetically for this kind of work. So when it comes to, can we talk? Can I bend your ear? Can I pick your brain? Can I find out? I love you, but no. I'm just not available for that. Now, another conversation is, but I would like a reading with you. Here's how you can book one. Okay, but I would like to have you as my mentor. Here's how you can sign up. I'm not aggressive with sales. I'm not pushy. I'm not even making the sales all so available. It's like you gotta look. You gotta ask in order to buy something. You gotta really want it. So with that being said, the one who wants it will find it. The one who really desires it will have it. Now, later, whenever, it doesn't make a difference to me. But the one who just wants something for free, I trust that when I give, I give. And there's plenty available. Oh, but yeah, I know you're doing a free reading next week, but I can't really show up for it live. So could you just do one for me outside of the live? No, because I'm doing it for you, for me, for us. That means other people who are also watching get to hear the reading and benefit from it. I'm not available for free readings or free bookings. So Amanda, my response to you is, okay, you want to be in my energy? Here's how to be in my energy. You can support me here. You can support me there. And here's the thing that I'm doing that you can participate in for free, if that feels right. Or I'm not doing anything free right now, but you can book a session with me. Because what happens is the more we step into the channel, the more we shine our light, the more the people that didn't really either were bothered by the channel or did not really enjoy your light to begin with, they see you shining and they're like, what the hell is happening with her? How all of a sudden is she doing this? How all of a sudden is she having this? How come? Why not me? I gotta get a piece. I gotta get a bite. I gotta get a little something, something. We used to be friends, right? Friends or no friends, you stay in your light. And someone who wants to work with you, they will work with you. Someone who wants to take a piece of you, pick your brain, bend your ear. Notice how these phrases sound. Pick your brain? Are you kidding me? That sounds disgusting. Bend your ear? Are you kidding me? Why would I want to do that? That doesn't sound enjoyable. You want to book a session with me? You want to pay me for my time? Sure. You want to honor my time when I am giving? You want to show up and take advantage of it and take the fullest out of the fullest? You do that, but you got to show up, and I'm not going to make exceptions. So boundaries. That's the answer, boundaries. Where are your boundaries? How are you setting the boundaries? Okay, second question, Amanda says, does it mean something when people are choosing you to speak to them? Yeah, so what it means, and I'm trying to just understand the question the best I can. Here's the thing. So let's say you guys found me, right? You're like, this girl, Katerina, I don't know how I found her exactly, or I know how I found her exactly. I don't know why, but it just like feels like something I need to hear. Why? Is it me? No. Is it me being the embodiment of what I'm teaching here? Yes. How does it work on your end? How does it work in your intuition in your channel? When you see me doing this and something in you says, look, we need to do this. It's not really me, Katerina. It's me being so aligned to what I'm teaching. Your inner intuition says she is what she teaches. So she is a safe source to learn that from. So when someone, Amanda, if someone's choosing you, they're like, I think you have the answer. I don't know why, but I think you do. I think I want to talk to you about this. I don't know why, but I do. Their soul is telling them that you are the one. Why? Because you are. So that's their own intuition, especially if they don't know. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like you're the one for this. So instead of shrinking and going like, I don't know anything about this, I don't know why, oh my God. How can you serve them? If you were to trust your channel more than you trust yourself, and you trust that their intuition chose you out of all the people available, how can you trust the channel more than you trust yourself and show up and exchange the value? Private coaching, one-on-one session, intensive, you name it. Just throw it out there. Okay, hey, I honor you. You chose me to speak about this. I honor you in this. Here's my rate for 1 hour session. Let's talk about this. If you don't feel comfortable going there yet, you can be like, hey, I'm thinking about coaching at some point. So let's shelve it for now. But I will reach out and let you know when I have something for this. But I would suggest just go into it. Hey, their intuition chose you. Who are you not to trust yours to be the channel? Is my question. One of my fellow students in one of the, actually several of the programs that I'm taking, she had this TikTok video that she published a few days ago, and it was like about how she channels Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And as you would imagine, being a channel, there's a lot of criticism from more religious people who are like, who are you to say this? And she said, I've heard a lot of times, like, who are you to say this? Who am I not to do this work when it's coming through? And I was like, that's exactly it. Who are you not to do this work when you are made for it? And who are you to undercharge for this work when it's your channel? It's not even your human, it's your channel. Who are you to downcharge this power? You got to honor it. You got to set boundaries for it. You got to let people meet you at your boundaries and honor them for you to open the gates. If someone tries to barge in and go like, hey, you got to give me a 75% discount because we went to high school together. No. 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 Okay. Okay, so next question. So Geraldine says, how can I connect into the true energy of channeling? I always wonder to know why I can't do it. I think you're overthinking it, okay? Because the energy of channel is not your energy. It is your energy. So when you channel, it just feels like your mind is resting and there's something coming through. The problem is when we start to immediately use our mind. Okay, what does it mean? What is it saying? What blah, blah, blah. I would suggest rewatching day one. If you watched it already, rewatch it. You might hear it differently. Because your mind might still be having thoughts like, what am I doing? What am I sitting here for? This coffee's cold. I want to turn on the TV. What about the groceries? And what about the bills? Like blah, blah, blah. Never ends. Like as long as you're awake, your mind keeps going unless you purposefully like, let's chill. Okay, it's just like, no. It might still be doing that, but you can still channel. Your channel is not outside of you. How do I know that I'm connecting to the channel? You can't, because your channel is you, except it's a higher version of you. It's not the human, the best way. Okay, and here's a little exercise, which is strangely relevant, but it's not in the same framework. I'm working with a male coach who is very much in the masculine energy. And I'm really enjoying it because I tend to be more in the feminine. So one of the things that he said to me last week was, I was talking to him about like some of the times when I feel like really out of control over my emotions, like emotions take over and I'm like my emotions, and I get like that. And he's like, okay, Kat, which is one of the nicknames I go by. He's like, okay, Kat, why don't you I want you to do one thing right now. And I was like, okay. He's like, I want you to close your eyes. We're sitting in a coffee shop. He's like, I want you to close your eyes. I'm like, okay. He's like, and I want you to silently, inside of your mind, say, hello. And I was like, okay. Hello. And then I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, some part of me said hello and some part of me heard it. He's like, right. I'm like, which part is the one asking and which part is the one hearing? He's like, that's the question, because you're not a singularity, you're a multitude. And you got to realize that there are different aspects of yourself going after different things. And you got to bring them together sometimes by being like, hello. Hello. What is happening? Right? Hello. Yeah. So it's within yourself. Your channel is part of you, but there's not just channel and human. There's like channel, human body, human ego, all the things that you thought you knew, all the things that you want to learn, all the voices in your head that are like the things people said to you maybe once, but now you think all people would say that. So there's a lot of awareness. And the more you channel, the more awareness you bring to all the aspects of yourself. But I would say, if you're like wondering what does the channel feels like, when you start channeling, sit there quietly and do this hello thing. Just close your eyes, go like, hello. Someone said it, someone heard it. Okay. Every one of me, be here now, please. We're channeling. Bring them all together. Let's channel. So you have all of them. Like, what? Huh? What? Oh, okay. Channeling. Does that make sense? It sounds a little crazy, but I think that should make sense. I know you don't have the links. I love it. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Yeah, I love it too. Because it's like, you got to really know. And if you know, you know. But if you don't, maybe it's not the right time. Casey says, I love how you give the custom payment plan option. So cool. I really love that. To me, it's a very individual energy. It's like, I want to do this, but I want to do this on my terms. Okay, great. I want to do this, but I want to pay in full. Amazing. Do I care? Not really. Why? Because I trust. Like, I'm all right. I'm not doing this to survive. I trust that I survive no matter what. And this is next level. Now, let me tell you that it did not start there. So, but what do I do? Do I do something to make money? No. No. Do I do something because I care and I want to do it and it's exciting and I want someone to meet me at the excitement level? Yes. But who can meet me at the excitement level? The one who is excited. Can I make someone excited who is not? No. No. And if I do, they're not really going to be excited. They're going to be like probably panicking because I'm like, you got to do this. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this like this. And I don't want anyone to do this to me. Because when I'm a lead in someone's book and they're following me to convert me, let me tell you what happens. I block them because I don't enjoy that energy. My energy is already extended with my clients being tapped in and myself doing the level of work that I'm committed to. It's a lot. So if someone's targeting me, watching what I post, what I say in order to sell me on something, I feel it, I don't appreciate it, and with all due respect, that person becomes blocked because I don't want to be in this realm. I can't afford to. So the best way to sell this work is to trust, but also not undercharge. So you charge what you channel. Channel the price. My best advice is ask your channel, okay, I want to do readings. What should I charge? If your channel says something and your ego goes like, whoa, that's too much, you got to check that because it's not your channel. It's your mind going like, oh, I've never had that money before. Do some work around that. If your channel says something and it's like your mind's like, yeah, that's what people would buy, is it really your channel? Or is it your mind trying to sneak something in so you stay safe and comfortable? You got to check that too, okay? Shelly says, you're worth it. Thank you, my love. So are you. Okay, and Nadir says, I love the way that you explain examples. Thank you. Ladies, you're so generous with the compliments. Thank you so much. Loves my crown. Thank you so much. Okay, I appreciate that a lot. What's the difference between intuition and channeling? Really good question. So intuition is like low-key channeling. Intuition is like low-key channeling. Intuition, intuition leads you to channeling. Intuition leads you to channeling. Okay. I'm getting a specific feeling. I'm going to parlay that a little later because that has nothing to do with the question, but it's just like there. It's all right. So let's stick with it. So the difference between intuition and channeling. Intuition is part of channeling. Okay. So you realize when you channel, you're like pure intuition. You have to keep your logic at bay so it doesn't mess with it. Intuition, when it pops through, is what I would describe as spontaneous channeling. Spontaneous channeling. It's like, wow. You're not calling it in. You're not trying to channel, but it comes through anyway. So channeling is like intuition taken to 100. Channeling is like, okay, I'm going to tap into my intuition and channel. Something that we discussed yesterday, okay, was the 3 tarot archetypes for channel, mentor, and coach. So you will notice that with the channel, it was the star. Now, that's not the tarot card for the intuition. The tarot card for the intuition is the high priestess. But the high priestess is not really the channel. She's the concept of intuition. She's your capability to be intuitive. So she doesn't do it as a channel for other people. She just is intuition. So intuition is something that you have. Channeling is something that you do purposefully. Channeling is something that you choose. Intuition sometimes pops through whether you choose it or not. It's just like giving you a warning sign, giving you an idea, giving you a clue. Intuition is like something that is. Channeling is something that you choose, if that makes any sense. I usually love a promo sale price for nearly everything. Yes, I do. Here's the thing. and this is a little more towards my next masterclass, which is going to be about sales. You gotta enjoy the sales. Like, you gotta enjoy this. If you don't, it's hard. And it's very hard because it sucks. Because if you don't enjoy it, you probably don't believe in what you're selling. And if you don't believe in what you're selling, you probably don't really want to sell it because you don't believe in it, because you wouldn't buy it yourself. But if you enjoy it and if you believe in it, if you're like, I would totally buy it myself. Like, I would, yeah. Then you have all these brilliant ideas like, oh, I would love to give a discount to these people that are already showing up. I would love to give them a special offer because of the work that they're doing. I would love to extend a special offer to my current clients. I would love to give a discount to those that are already private coaching clients in the group, whatever it is. But you have this, and it comes from generosity. It's like, I should discount the price because otherwise no one's going to buy it. That's not what we're talking about. But more on this in the next free masterclass, because I do have some contradictory sales experiences. Like some what you will just cringe, and some that are like, that sounds like a party. And it is. So I want to show you the energetic difference. That's going to be the next masterclass. So look out for the emails in the coming weeks. I'm not I don't have an email list. So if you get an email from me, it comes from my Gmail account, katerinabarrie@gmail.com. So don't be surprised. It does not look like a sales message, okay? It's like an email, okay? So, but not when it came to my readings, if that makes sense. So that was Casey. Casey says, promo price. I usually love a promo price for nearly everything, but not when it came to my readings, if it makes any sense. Yeah, here's the thing. I like to do special readings when it feels like the energy is right. And it's like the numbers, the numerology, I pay attention to that. Like, so like a reading that's like last month, I had a reading for like a new moon, actually exactly a month ago. And it was like $66 because it was June, and it was like the number 6, and it was 6/6, and it was just like perfect. It was just perfect. It just felt so right. But it was like a 24 to 48 hours. So otherwise my reading prices are what they are. And I don't really promote them. So like if someone comes in, it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not really sure if I'm interested in anything that you have right now, but I would like to like experience a reading. Do you have an option? I'll send them the option, but I don't really promote that. But it is what it is. Like, it's always available. I just don't actively promote that. Geraldine says, from your readings, may I ask you what the cards can perceive from me? Does that make sense? So this is a really good question. It's a little complex, but I love it. It's a really good one. So the cards don't care. I'm just going to be honest. The cards don't give a flying F what you're going through. They're just cards. They're like, we can't do anything about your life, sister. Like, just, hey, it's how you use them. Okay, so what can cards perceive? Nothing. Can cards care? No. Even if they could, some of the cards show a pretty exalted archetypes, and some of these archetypes, even if they could care, they wouldn't, because they're just so isolated. They're so self-concerned. So when you pull cards, instead of cards perceiving something about you, it's your own channel. So see it this way, okay? So you using cards, you using a deck of cards, pulling cards, like, right? It's like you think, okay, the cards must see me. It's not that. It's like, okay, the cards are here. The channel is there. You connect to the channel connects to the cards, and the channel directs your body to pull the cards so that the channel is in charge of the cards that you pull. And the channel is trying to get a message across to you. The cards do nothing. The cards are just a tool. Now, something like tarot cards, which is why I have this very next level course about them, they are a book of lessons, a big one. There is a lot to learn. But once you learn, The basics, you don't have to just stick to the meanings. You allow the messages to come through in the framework of the card that appears. But it's not the cards telling you the message. It's the channel speaking to you through a tool, through a card. Just like a wand in Harry Potter. Who is doing the magic? Is it the wand? No, it's the magician. Where's the magic coming from? Is it from the wand? No, it's from the magician. What is it coming through the wand? Yes. But the wand's not making the magic. It's the magician who holds it. So same with the cards. The cards don't say anything. The cards don't care. The cards, just like wand, do the magic. They convey the message. But where's the message coming from? From the cards? No. From your channel? Yes. So what do you connect to? The cards or the channel? The channel. The cards are just, you shuffle and you do whatever. Okay. Third question, says Amanda. My channeling for you, yes, no, or maybe so. Let me review that. Because I've received a lot and I am actually still going through some of these. So right off the bat though, Amanda, yes. Do I still want to integrate it a little deeper? Yes. But it's all accurate, my friends. Every single channeling that was conducted in this group is extremely accurate. Someone said something about the puzzle piece. Someone said literally, and I can't, unfortunately, I don't have the span of my mind to remember all the specific names, like where the channeling came from, but one of you said there's this image of you looking at your life like it's a movie. This is literally what I'm working with my coach. This is bizarre. He has shown me a picture of a woman standing looking at a movie screen, and in the movie screen she's talking to someone else and she's observing what is happening to her at the moment that it's happening. And I remember this image and I kind of try to integrate it because sometimes I get too involved in the emotion. I'm just like that. And that's what I'm working on. And someone said, like, you looking at your life like it's, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you like literally seeing this picture? It's incredible. It works every single time. That the reason that I ask you to channel for me is that you know that it works every single time. You can trust it 100%. Okay. The next question is Patricia says, how do we discern between the voice of the channel and our ego? If it sounds like it knows too much, like if it sounds like it's beating you up, or like you should have done the dishes. You should have pushed a little harder on that sale. You know, you weren't very honest. It's like, yeah, that's not the channel. If it sounds like your mom, if it sounds like your jealous friend, if it sounds like your boss, if it sounds like you're beating yourself up, that's not the channel, because the channel doesn't care. The channel is part of you, but the channel is not human enough. It's like your soul. It's aware of your human journey, but it doesn't really relate as a human to human. It only has love and compassion, and it only wants you to grow. So it has no judgment. So if there's any judgment, probably not the channel. That's how I discern. But at this point, I know what the channel feels like. And you can only get there if you practice it. You know what the channel feels like. There is no questions of what it sounds like. Because when it feels like the channel, it's the channel. When it doesn't feel like the channel, it's not. But you got to train yourself to know the feeling difference. And the sound difference, the writing difference, if there's judgment, that ain't it. It's your ego. Oh, thank you, Shelley. It's wonderful, says Sylvia. True, Geraldine. Okay. Can you give a message? What's coming? Okay, so we haven't gotten there yet. Just want to get through all the questions. So wow, I got goosebumps because sometimes I dream with my grandma and I was not even close to her, but she inspired me. That's probably why. I know it sounds a little crazy, but if you didn't have a chance to really be close in life, she probably wants to participate in your life now that she can. Not as a human, but as a spirit. So it's real. I think it's very real. Amazing. New Orleans, yes! Oh my goodness, from New Orleans. I love Marie Laveau too. She's amazing. I have right here, have a little tiny little altar set up, and that's actually, I manifest with her energy a lot. You see these little pieces of paper in there? These are all the things that I'm manifesting, and actually quite a few of them came true. And tomorrow is the new moon, which is the last time I did this was on new moon. So I'm going to pull some of these out. I'm going to burn the ones that have come true, and I'm going to add some more. Some have not, and I want to add some more already. So right there. I have a few of her items. I like her energy. She really helps me. I asked her to help me grow my business. And the next month after I did, I had my first $14,000 month. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's not what I was expecting. Thank you, I'll take it. But like, I was thinking more like a 1,000 maybe, but like 14? Wow, okay. Very quickly. But it's not Marie Laveau doing this. Like, I trust, I put the intention in, and then I do the work. But I did not expect the work to be done so quickly and for the results to pour in so quickly either. So there's definitely some assistance in that, but there's a lot of learning also. I have that Oracle card. Oh, great. You have the Keepers of the Light. That's awesome. I love the phrase, we are going to be friends. That's awesome. Yeah. I have the Oracle cards for a while, used them a few times, but never understood. So Oracle is really good for channeling. So if you want to learn something, tarot is a learning tool. Tarot is a learning tool and understanding tool, and know thyself tool, and know how other people operate tool. Oracle cards are so very vibes. Like, you'll see that different Oracle cards have different vibes. Yeah, I have really good idea, you guys. So I'll vocalize it in a little bit, but I'm just staying with in the energy of the questions. But Oracle cards are good for channeling. So if you can get an Oracle deck that you already have, for example, and you set the meanings book aside, and I like to read those. I appreciate what the author says about the card, but if you can shelf it. And you can pull out a card and then you can channel. That's what the Oracle cards are amazing for. Pull a card, channel. What do you mean channel? Just sit with it, look at it, tap into your channel and be like, channel, what does it mean for me? Start writing. Very good for that. And just shelf the meanings book. You can actually check in with that after you're channeling. I like to do that too. I'll channel and I'll be like, okay, what does the author say? And sometimes it will be in line, sometimes it will be something different. I'll be like, wow, that's interesting. Okay, so Geraldine says New Orleans. So Marie Laveau is from New Orleans. I am originally from Russia, so I'm not from New Orleans. Yes, 1800s Louisiana Voodoo Queen. Yes. Oh, camera floating off into the distance. Okay, thank you, says Amanda. I got guarded quickly, guarding my energy. I mean, yeah, that's good. You want to protect your energy. You don't want people to just randomly pop into your inbox and start draining your vibes. I've been that girl, the no boundaries girl. Not going back. Just wanna love you long time. I feel that's hilarious. Okay, you're understanding correct? Yes. Okay, great question. Day one, love your crown. I love you ladies so much. Question by Lauren Amy Alma. Do you think up various ideas and solutions to problems when you're not actively trying to? Is that channeling? Yes. Yes, it is. It is. And I will tell you how. Yeah, I will tell you how. So how that happens is, that's your intuition. Someone asked, what's the difference between intuition and channeling? That's your intuition popping in. You have an idea. Wow, that's channeling. Yes. Random, think various ideas, solutions to problems you were not actively trying to, and it just comes to you. That's channeling. Yes. Is it active channeling? No, because you weren't trying to channel. Is it your intuition? Is it a function of your intuition, your third eye, your crown? Yes. Because it gets through. You're thinking about something else and it just still dawns on you. It finds a way to squeeze itself in. That's a function of your channel. Are you actively channeling? No, but sometimes you gotta not actively do anything for something to come through. So you'll know this even like doing homework, right? Back in the day, you're doing homework, you're getting super frustrated and tired. Someone tells you, take a break, just take a break. You go have a snack, you come back, you know the solution to the problem. Now the channel can squeeze in, right? Now the answer can come through. Julie Voss says, isn't intuition your subconscious mind trying to speak up and be heard? Yes. So that's where we see the archetype of the high priestess. High priestess is the gateway to the subconscious mind. So this is your intuition. So your subconscious, where do you think your channel comes from? Not your conscious mind, no. Because your conscious mind knows too much to be open to receive anything that it doesn't know. So your channel is a function of your subconscious mind. But what your subconscious mind, and this is something that was explored by Carl Jung as well, who, by the way, very much favored tarot cards, even though he was a psychologist, right? So something that he was trying to actively do is go into his subconscious mind. I believe he even created his own cards. He wrote this red book, which is like super, like just wow. He was just like going into his subconscious because he believed that subconscious is a faculty of our mind, but it's unlimited. So we do have a subconscious mind, but the subconscious mind is not something to be had. It's something that is all encompassing. So we have access to it, but it's not limited by us, much like your channel is not limited by your human. So yes, very good question. Rose says, I'm just enjoying taking this all in. It is helpful in letting me understand what I felt as a child. Yes. Oh, I love that so much. So something that I want to mention on this comment is your subconscious mind has the ability, your channel has the ability to give life, not just create a human. That's not what I'm talking about, but to animate objects. This is very next level. I'm not going to go too deep with this because I know it's like very next level. But when you're a child and you have toys like little plush bears and whatever, and they really are real to you, like not just the toy, but who it is, you give it character, life, name, and it's like really there for you. You might not remember it very well because the adults say, oh, enough with the imaginary friends. But if you tap in and you remember how real that was, it was. It was that real. It was really something that is real, alive. How? You have that power because you can co-create with the universe. So when you give life, even though it's an inanimate object, you can give life to it. You can do that as an adult as well. Let me show you something. This crystal, it's a crystal. It already is something. It already has a vibration. This is fluorite. It's very pretty. It's very like rainbowy. I bought this crystal in Russia in year 2019 going on 2020. That was like the winter, and I spent like a few weeks there, and I had about $200 to my name and for the travel and stuff, and I spent like $40 on this one, and I left myself with very little things, like very little money. And my friend was like, have you fucking lost your mind? Like, why are you buying a piece of rock for this much money? And I was like, I lived in the United States already. I just didn't have much money for the trip, and I was just visiting family. And I was like, you know what? It represents wealth. She's like, what do you mean wealth? You barely got money, any money in general, and you're buying a piece of rock, and it represents wealth? How? You're broke. And I'm like, yeah, I know. She's like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, listen, this represents wealth. I believe in wealth before I have it. She's like, I don't get it. I'm like, that's all right. I know what I'm doing, so I'm buying this. Every time wealth comes in, I'm like, I believed before it was here. This is the adult version of what I was talking about. I gave it life before I even bought it. And the life of it is, it's wealth. before I had wealth. It represents wealth. So every time I actually have evidence of wealth, I'm like, I believed it before I had it. And this is the symbol for it, for me, okay? So this is not going too deep into that because that could take hours. Okay. Answered intuition question, amazing. In the present moment, oh my goodness, wow. Do you have any new moon and full moon rituals? I do. So I'm not going to talk much about this, but I think I'm going to post a refresher soon. So I have a few videos on my YouTube because that's a whole different subject. But if you would like, and I think this is a good idea in general, I think I'm going to do a new moon video on my personal page, like Katerina Barrie, just on Facebook. Because I'm feeling a lot of things about this new moon. So if you want to check that out, stay tuned. Because I will do a live video tomorrow. And even if you can't see it live, you can watch it on replay. So stay tuned with my personal page. I'll talk about that. I was thinking about that already. This is a nice confirmation. So how do, Nadira says, how do we know what the message is when channeling is verbalized in a different language? Some people, it's like language, light language. But how to interpret the message? I know a channel that lives not very far from me, who works with another channel, who was the person who taught me how to channel. Okay, long story short, I have a shaman that I go see every now and then. Her name is Wendy Perel, and you'll see me mention her every now and then. And she's really amazing. So she channels verbally, she channels in a lot of different ways, and she channels mostly ascended masters and angels. So that's her kind of realm. So she helped me activate my own channel. She did what I'm doing in the intensive. She did what I'm doing in this masterclass. She said, okay, you already have a channel. Now let's use it. Now let's use it together so you can use it with me and then you can use it with others. So she works with another channel who draws light language. So the way that my mom's channel works, for example, and she's been part of this masterclass, for which I'm so grateful. She paints. She doesn't put it into words. Like she paints. She just comes to her, so she paints it or draws it. So your channeling method might not be language. It doesn't have to be language. So it might be symbols. It might be visuals. It might be language, or like some other language. Just write it the way that it appears. Don't try to translate it before it comes through. That's the whole thing. Let the human rest, chill, be all right. Let the channel speak itself. So if the channel comes through in different calibrations and things, just try to capture them as best you can, and then you'll deal with it later. But let it come through the way that it does. Don't make it something that it's not, because then we're adding mud to the water, and we want the water to be clear. We just want to put it in a vessel. The vessel might not look like what you think it might look like, but you just gotta let it come through as clear as possible, and then you're gonna figure out how to package it, right? How to present it in a drinkable way. But before it comes through, don't worry about it. See what the symbols come in. See what the light language looks like, right? Put it down the best you can. Trust it. Then let it be. Go do something else. Come back. And then you might have an idea. So Michelle's sending a heart. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, ladies, for being here as well. I'm so impressed by all your work. Carl Jung and archetypes. Oh my, yes, the dolls, yes. And I still have some of my stuffed animals, and I still see them the way that I used to see them. That's my little secret. I still see them the way that I made them be real, right? So yeah, it's still real. Because when I was little, I was told, oh, treasure your imagination. It's so precious, because when you're going to grow up, it's going to go away. And as a kid, I was like, hell no. It's not going anywhere. I'm going to keep it. And it went away for a while. But then once I recalibrated to the channel that I used to have my whole life, it was like, never went away. Here it is. Always been there. Always will be. Okay, so Amanda says, oh, my crystal girl. For me, It calms me and provides clarity and protection from some things I feel. Yeah, crystals are really good. Crystals are really good for channeling, by the way. If you want a high frequency crystal for channeling for a crown chakra, get a amethyst. It's quick. It's a little much. I wouldn't recommend sleeping with it because then you might have a hard time waking up. I have a bunch of amethysts in my bedroom, and then I couldn't get myself up because I'm like, the dreams, the thoughts, let me just sleep longer. It's just like, it takes you up, and then you're like, I don't want to be human. At least me. Like, I want to be human, but I just want to sleep as a human and be there. So I keep them at bay, but I have an amethyst in my bathtub because when I'm in the bathtub, I'm trying to let go, surrender, release everything, and calibrate upwards. So I'll hold the amethyst and I'll go up. So channeling, good thing to keep on the table when you're channeling. Amethyst, very good. Very high vibrational crystal. Okay, I believe before it was here, sounds good to me. Oh, thank you, Michelle. You're so sweet. Calcite. Like more throat chakra. Calcite. Wait, depends on the type of calcite, okay? Depends a little bit on the color. Depends a little bit on the density. It just green, okay. Well, heart, throat, I would say. That's kind of like. Now, yellow calcite's really good for sacral area. Okay, my friends, I have a very strong feeling because I feel like these questions are so amazing. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I know you're all here for the readings, and I want to do something a little next level. I want to create a separate post where you can request a reading because I don't feel like I can go on for much longer because I'm getting a little bit tired. And I want to pull cards for each of you and like write it out so I can mention some things, so I can do it a little bit on my own time. And so you, each and every one of you, even if you, whether you have made this live or not, live replay, whatever, so everyone gets a chance to request a card. And I will take a little longer, so I will continue distributing these readings probably through the rest of the weekend because I don't want to rush. And if you receive more than one card, which sometimes just happens, I don't want to be like slinging things, like, you know what I'm saying? That's not the work that I stand for. So no, Michelle, I'm thinking about doing readings separately. It's been coming through several times. So yes, so I'm going to create a separate post. All you need to do is just drop a comment like me or whatever, or an emoji, whatever you want to put. So that as long as you have a comment on that post, you'll receive a reading. It will be like, drop a comment to get your reading. It's going to be hard to miss. So just stay tuned for the post. And I will conduct the readings to each and every one of you who requests. Because at this point, I'm just tapping into my energy. I can't promise that I can do 18 readings because there's 18 of you watching. So I don't want to overextend myself, and I also don't want to leave anyone out, if that makes any sense. So the readings we're going to do is the divination of the ancients, which is like what I like to call channeling tools, divination tools. Divination is a fancy name for channeling, communicating with divine. So I will do a reading for every single one of you who asks, whether you were on this live or you saw it later, whenever, wherever, whatever's happening. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to give one more opportunity for any last minute questions, but I want to tell you thank you so very much for being here, for being part of this masterclass, for contributing your energy to this incredible event. I'm like blown away. Thank you, my loves. Yes. So just look out for the post. I'll post it right as soon as I get off. Like within minutes. Request your reading below. Drop a comment below to request your reading in this group. So if you don't see it, go back to the group, refresh it, you'll see it. Drop a comment. Make sure to drop a comment. And that's what I'll go off. It will take me, I will not be promising to do all the readings tonight because at this point I'm a little tired. So I want to do it in the right way. So drop a comment on the separate post and I will do the readings. Thank you so very much for being here. These questions were gold. Remember, you've got all the tools you need. You've got everything you need. Meredith! Yay! I'm so excited. Yes, so this group is going to be available for until July 17th. Then if you provided your email, you will get at some point lifetime links, which I'll just repost it to YouTube, but it will be edited. So there won't be any question answers. This session is not going to be included because it's like very specific to people who are asking the questions. So there will be like probably the welcome call and for sure days 1, 2, 3. And you get that, like you can just watch that on a permanent link. But the group will go away at some point, but the next one will get started. That's the good thing. So when this one shuts down, I will have an invitation for the next one. And if you've provided your email address, I will send you the link to the next masterclass. If you registered and you didn't provide the email address, which some of you did not, and that's okay. But if you don't want to miss the next one, the next opportunity comes around, plug it in, okay? Because I can't send you the permanent links and I can't send you the invite to the next one if I don't know the address. So no guilt there, no judgment, but if you want to have more of a like, okay, here's an email and here are all the links, the only way I can do that is if I have your email address, okay? So this is just like for future reference. If that wasn't this time, don't worry about it. Just remember for the next time. Okay, my friends, I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for being here. This was such an amazing session. I will be creating that post within minutes of this live. And so when you see it, drop a comment and you will receive a free reading. I guarantee that. I cannot guarantee that it's going to be within 24 hours, but it's going to be when it's going to be, and it's going to be 100%. So Nadira, so Nadir is asking, please give the course details and cost again. I will do that right now. So for those of you wondering last minute, this is the last opportunity to take up the offers that I have at the price that they're on. So let me just recap real quick. This is going to be the last thing. Meredith, so much love to you. You're so amazing. Here's the recap. So we've got one, which is the first offer is, it's an 8-day private hybrid coaching intensive. What that means is there's one-on-one daily communication, very extensive, very intense. There's group coaching, which is group conversation happening also daily with group exercises. And there's 8 modules, daily modules dropped, which are videos that you watch on your own time, but they provide a lot of information. So this is a very intensive 8 days. So there's group coaching, private coaching, and teaching modules, right? So that's for channeling. We're going to go over all the ways to channel, all the tools to channel. I'm going to very personally work with you as to where you want to take your channel, what you want to use it for, and how you want to embody it, right? So that's the individual part. The group part is we're going to practice with each other. We're going to practice on each other. We're going to see how it works in different circumstances. When you know who you're channeling for, when you don't know who you're channeling for, when there is several people that you're channeling for. I have done that very rarely, but that has happened. So we will practice all these scenarios. There's education, there's one-on-one, there's group. So that one is 888. There are payment plans available. For everything that I do, basically. So that's something that begins on July 22nd. The second offer was Channel Mentor Coach. This is a high-level coaching group experience, which is where I teach you everything that I know as a coach, as a mentor, and as a channel. How to be a channel and a coach, how to be a channel and a mentor, how to be all three. What's the difference? If you want a little more details, you might want to watch yesterday's, like day 2. The offers do expire when this stream is finished. So if you message me right after or like around that time, and if you ask a question, if it's a yes, we'll take it from there. I'll still honor the price, but if you wait until like tomorrow, then it's just maybe not meant to be right now. But Channel Mentor Coach is a 3-week group coaching program, and I will teach you everything I know about coaching and have some background information because I'm working with very, very high level mentors, several, and I'm deepening my coaching practice. I'm deepening my sales practice. I'm deepening my business understanding. I'm deepening the level of work with my clients. So there's a lot that I'm calibrating to. So while I will teach you everything I know, I will also teach you everything I'm learning. And that's very next level, because you calibrate to me and then you calibrate to those that I'm calibrating to through me. So very next level, highly recommend. It is $11.11, which is a very special price for this just channel. And if you want to do both the first offer, which is the intensive, and channel mentor coach together, it's 1555. So you save 444, and there are payment plans for that as well. The last thing is the tarot course, which is currently in session. We are about a quarter way through. I'm not rushing through it. I'm really honoring when it's in alignment to do the next training. This weekend, we've covered 8 major arcana cards so far, and there was a welcome call, so that's what's already available to view. This weekend I'm putting together workbooks and like written components, so you can look up the meanings of the cards, so you can practice the understanding of each of the 8 cards so far through a themed reading for each. So it's very next level. So in the tarot course, I teach you the meanings of the tarot. I walk you through the channeled understandings of the tarot. It's like a storybook that we're living together. I teach you the numerology, the astrology, the elements of the tarot, how they come together, the archetypes, the personalities, what it means in a reading, what it means esoterically, what it means for yourself, what it means for your client, how to be a professional tarot reader, how to charge for readings, how to open a session, how to close it, how to go beyond the meanings and channel within the realm of tarot. Knowing the meanings, how do you channel and not just focus on the meanings that you know, right? So there's a lot. It's it's the work of my lifetime. It's the gift that keeps on giving, because for the rest of my life, I foresee myself contributing to this course. Like, it's not going to just be 44 modules and that's it. It's going to be like, okay, 44 modules, we finish that, and then I'm going to keep adding to it. So when you purchase this course, it's lifetime access. And everything that I give you is lifetime. So you get to keep materials no matter what. But with the tarot course, it's going to keep being developed going forward. And we're just getting started. So basically, close to quarter of the base 44 modules, but not quite there yet. So it's a good time to join. So the tarot course alone at this point is $2,222. If you choose the bundle here and you do the channel mentor coach, the channeling intensive, which is the hybrid coaching, 8 days, right? And the tarot course, all 3 are $2,555. So there's a huge, great deal of savings, and that's not available anywhere else. And there are payment plans available for that too. So if you want to break it down, the lowest would be like $255.50 a month. Unless that's like absolutely out of budget and you really want to do this and you're very committed, we can change that, lower the price, extend the time, but you got to know, okay? If you ask me any questions right after the stream about the paid offers and something clicks, I will honor the pricing. If you wait for the few days and then something dawns on you, with all my love and all my appreciation, it's probably not in alignment this time. And that's okay. Don't worry about it. So my friends, on this note, I love you so very much. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you shortly in the post where you are invited to request your free reading. And otherwise, if you have provided your email address, you will be receiving later this month access to all these trainings forever, and an invitation to the next free masterclass, which is going to be about sacred sales. I think I just came up with a name for it just now. Sacred sales, because this is sacred sales. And what I used to do was like soul murdering sales. And I want to tell you the energetic difference. Because doing the soul murdering sales, I used to think I'm never selling anything ever again. I'd rather starve. And that's not the way. Okay, so I will teach you that. So sending you all so much love. Thank you again for being here. Honor, pleasure, and gratitude for your time and energy, commitment, showing up. Thank you. Mwah. Bye.